Here we have a XRT Pro tuner that came in for an HDMI port replacement. I already opened this to look and see what's going on inside, and it doesn't look pretty. We have the motherboard, the screen, and the shell. Let's put the shell and the screen on the side and take a look at the motherboard. The HDMI connector goes here, but as you can see, it's ripped, and it ripped a lot of pads on that board. Look at this. It looks like somebody worked on that board before. I see signs of flux, signs of cleaning, and a lot of ripped pads. A lot of ripped pads. The first two should not be connecting to anything, so we can leave them empty. This one is not connecting to anything, so we can leave it empty. We do not have to fix it. This one here we do not have to fix, and we have to fix this one. What we're gonna do is use pad strips to restore the traces. And we have three different types. We have the BR type, we have the Whaley type, and we have the Best type. They're all the same, but maybe the shapes of the pads are a bit different. If we take a look at the BR pad strips, and we have all those on our e-commerce site, you can check them out. The BR pad strips look something like this. Let's go under the microscope, and you can see that this sheet has a lot, from small to big. Okay, a lot. Now let's take a look at the Whaley one. These circular pads are used to restore circular rip traces. And we have everything from this size, this shape, all the way down to this here. And finally, we're gonna take a look at the Best pad strip, and this is the smallest and the cheapest. But I like this one because it contains big pads. I'll show you. These pad strips here are perfect for our purpose, I think. I never tried them on the XRT Pro tuner, but we will now. And what else do we have? We have the dots, we have the rectangular, and we have those tiny pad strips here. And what I'm going to do is grab one and see if that will fit our purpose. All we have to do is this, and I'm gonna grab one from here. And let's see. Will that work for us? Oh, perfect. Perfect. Look at that. The same size pad as this one. Wow. Oops. Where did it go? Ninth dimension. Actually, it's first dimension, so we were able to find it. Okay. The pad is perfect. Awesome. What we're going to do is scrape the mask here so we can expose the copper. We're going to do the same here. We're going to do the same here, 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 and here. And then we'll start to solder those pad strips. And then we're going to solder the HDMI connector. A little bit of a tedious process, but what can you do? Those tuners, they go for about $700-800, but the problem is some customers, they really need them because they cannot turn on their vehicle without the tuner. So more like data recovery. It has to be done. Right, so we're going to use our grinding pen to scrape the mask off those lines, and we'll take it from there. And by the way, those grinding pens, we only have about 7 left in stock. We have a shipment coming in the next 10 days. It's a very popular item. Let's start with this one here. I mean, that grinding pen is just amazing. I love it. I love it. Every time I use it, I feel happy. I'm able to scrape the mask off the tiniest wire. What else? This one here, I'm not going to be able to get to it because of the IC. I do not want to hurt the IC. So we're going to do it with our blade or tweezer. Very nice. So before we align the pad strip here, I'm gonna tin those exposed copper lines. Beautiful. And here we're gonna be using the Mechanic Diamond Tweezer. One of the best tweezers I've used in such a long time. I got this as a sample, and we have a large batch coming in the next 10 days. But the tweezer is just amazing. I have not used anything else after using this one. I started using it a few days ago, and wow, I'll go over it when we get them. So what I want to do is start by soldering this one. Now look at the size of this pad, almost the same size of the factory pads. Very nice. And all we have to do is cut the strip. Look at that pad. Wow. We're gonna skip one pad and move on to this one here. Then this one here, then we're gonna skip one, and then we're gonna do two. And then we're gonna do this one. So how many wires? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 wires. You know what? Let's grab 3 of them at once. And what I like about those pad strips is they are not so thin. They have some thickness to them. Let's do this here. You know what, before we cut the wires, let me do this one and the one next to it so we can speed up the process. Now we're gonna do this one here. This is the first time that I use the pads from Best, and I love them. We're gonna need how many more? 1. Actually, we need 1 here and 1 here. 2 more. And then we're gonna trim and cut. And we still have 1 more. This one is the only one that's backwards. We need just a tiny bit of flux. All right, so we should be good. This one is a no connect, no connect, no connect, no connect. The rest are connected. Now what we can do, and we do not have to, but we can apply solder mask on the top here to maybe secure the wires more. Hot air along with UV light. Now I just forgot to apply solder mask on the bottom pad. And now before we solder a new HDMI connector, we want to remove solder off the holes from here and from here. And we're going to clean this one. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to fit the HDMI connector. So we could have done this before, but that's okay. It looks like the leg is still stuck in this hole here, so we're gonna have to remove it. Just like that. I'm gonna flip the board and just take a look at the back. Okay, and we're all good. All we have to do now is solder the HDMI connector. Okay, I just realized the camera went off when a customer came in. I already soldered some of the pins, but we need to go over them. I do not know why this always happens, but it's not rocket science. We put the connector and I started to apply solder onto the pins. We're gonna go over them again to make sure they are secured. I did not test if the pins are secured yet. And this one is one of the ones with the pad. This is a no connect, and this is one of the ones with the pad strips. Same here. And same here, right there. And this one. And those two are no connects. Let's clean up and see if all the pins are making a good connection. Let's start by going over the pins from right to left. Solid, solid, solid. All the pins are solid. And this is a no connect. Solid. And this one that's going down with the wire, it's solid. The one next to it is a no connect. This one is solid with the pad under it, and this one is solid with the pad under it, and the rest are solid. But I'm just concerned that this pad is going to touch this one, so we have to separate those two pads. Maybe if I apply heat onto the pin. Just like that. Okay, so we did it. Okay, and that's a miracle fix thanks to the pad strips. There's a 99.9% chance this will work, but we still have to solder the back legs so the connector is secured. And let's do this one here. And let's do this one here. If you cannot see yourself with that solder blob, it means that blob is not good. All right, and we're done. I need to remove the cap from that brand new HDMI connector. I'm gonna assemble the screen and we'll go outside so we can test it. The board is in along with the screen. We're gonna close it. And let's go outside so we can see if it's working. We're gonna plug the HDMI cable, and as soon as we plug the cable, the screen should turn on. Right there. Right there, awesome. The connector is working and the job is done.